Fasting has many surprising benefits that some people may not even be aware of. Now, more people are becoming more aware of these benefits, so we can see why this is also a practice that the religion of Islam really promotes. Welcome back, guys, to another FTD Facts episode. My name is Leroy Kenton, and I'll be sharing 10 surprising benefits of fasting in Islam. Now, the first 5 benefits are going to deal with some medical benefits, and then the last 5 are going to relate more to the spiritual benefits within the religion. All right, so let's just jump into it. Starting at number 10, we have metabolism. So one of the more obvious results of fasting is reducing obesity. And now fasting, it causes the liver enzymes to break down cholesterol and fats to convert them into bile acid. And then from there, it converts them to heat, and then that stimulates faster metabolism. Fasting on top of that also decreases the appetite, which reduces the hunger hormone levels in the body. So oftentimes people find that their meal portion sizes are smaller after a period of fasting. Also, when the human body is undergoing the starvation process, what the body does is that it goes after the fat in order to utilize and burn any stored energy first. So if done correctly, fasting can actually contribute greatly to the loss of fatty tissues in the body. So you're gonna lose a lot of weight. Moving on to the next benefit, it corrects high blood pressure. Now, fasting is one of the non-drug methods that are used to reduce blood pressure. It helps to reduce the risk of atherosclerosis. Now, atherosclerosis is the clogging of arteries by fat particles. During the fasting process, glucose and later fat stores are used to produce energy, right? So metabolic rate is reduced during fasting, and the fear-flight hormones such as adrenaline as well as noradrenaline are also reduced. And this keeps the metabolic rate steady and within its limits. So the benefit of this is the reduction in blood pressure. All right, getting a little bit more medical and scientific, it also promotes detoxification. We know processed foods aren't the best thing. Now, processed foods, a lot of times they have additives in them. Hence the term processed food. Now, processed food may taste really good, I'm not gonna lie, but you see these additives, they may become toxins in the body. Now, most of these toxins are then stored in fats. Fat is burned during fasting, like I mentioned previously, especially when it is prolonged, and the toxins are released. So the liver, the kidneys, and other organs in the body are involved in the detoxification process as well. Fasting also rests the digestive system. Now, during the fasting process, the digestive organs actually get to take a break and just chill a little bit, you know? The normal physiological functions continue to happen, especially the production of digestive secretions, but they happen at a very reduced rate. Fasting helps to maintain balance of fluids in the body, and breakdown of food takes place, but at a steady rate. Now, the release of energy also follows a gradual process. Fasting, however, does not stop the production of acids in the stomach. So this is a reason why people that have peptic ulcers are advised to be extra careful when fasting. And some medical experts say that they shouldn't be fasting at all. Now, the next thing to know is that fasting also really affects the function of cells, genes, and hormones. So when you don't eat for a while, several things start to happen in your body. Like, for example, your body then initiates important cellular repair processes, and it then changes hormone levels to make the stored body fat a lot more accessible. So here's some of the changes that happen in your body when you fast. This is pretty interesting. When it comes to insulin levels, the blood levels of insulin drop significantly, and this helps to facilitate fat burning. Then there's also the effect on the human growth hormone. So the blood levels of growth hormones may increase as much as 5 times. Higher levels of this hormone facilitate fat burning as well as muscle gain, and it has many other benefits that I'm not gonna take the time to mention in this episode. You have to just Google that or something. The body starts to induce important cellular repair processes such as removing waste material from the cells. Then there is gene expression. So there are a handful of beneficial changes in several genes and molecules related to longevity as well as protection against all kinds of disease. So many of the benefits of fasting are related to these changes in hormones, gene expression, as well as function of cells. So guys, we reached halfway in this episode. If you're enjoying this one so far and you're learning a lot, you're finding it interesting, be sure to leave a like on this video. And if this is your first time stumbling across FTD facts, this is how we do it. So hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, that way you'll be notified of our daily episodes. That's right, you can come back to this channel every single day to learn something brand new about our world, countries, culture, religion, people all over the planet. So if those topics interest you, definitely stick around for a while. We're on our road to 1 million subscribers, so definitely keep sharing these videos as well. But enough of the chit chat and self-promo. Let's get back into this episode. We got 5 more interesting and surprising benefits about fasting in Islam. At number 5, let's talk about self-restraint. So fasting has not been prescribed according to the religion of Islam simply for dietary reasons and medical reasons, but rather fasting is actually an act of worship to God in order to teach mankind self-restraint. So Muslims believe that fasting is not just for Muslims, it's for all people. In addition to restraining from food and drinks, people must work on being more patient and forgiving while they fast. Muslims are required to refrain from all kind of useless talk and gossip. They're compelled to be kinder and more generous to others, as well as utilize and construct their time a lot wiser. So the person fasting becomes more aware of their words and their actions. The benefit number 4 is self-esteem. It's believed that the practice of fasting allows Muslims to grow spiritually and also grow socially. There are numerous benefits to fasting, and it's even documented and highly encouraged by many professionals. So one of the benefits, like I mentioned, is self-esteem, because it is intended to remind Muslims of their purpose in this life, which is to worship and surrender to the will of God. Now this really boosts a Muslim's confidence, as well as it purifies them from any sort of self-centered behavior, and it leads to an overall more content life. The next benefit of fasting in the religion of Islam is it actually may help overcome addictions. So similar to the benefit number 5 on self-restraint, some experts show that fasting can actually help addicts reduce their cravings for things like nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, as well as other substances that they abuse. Although there are other practices to reduce addictions, fasting can actually play an important role. But despite having all of these benefits, so it's important to mention the flip side of fasting, because it may cause reduction in body water called dehydration. So this can lead to headaches, and it can even trigger migraines in those who are predisposed to those kind of things, as well as pregnant women, nursing mothers, and people who are malnourished, and people who have renal or liver problems are advised not to fast. So you definitely also want to check up with your medical professionals. Fasting does have its benefits, but again, like everything, it needs to be done in a certain way for you to maximize it. Fasting helps to promote a healthier brain and cognitive function. So during the fasting process, the blood in the human body is actually filled with more endorphins, and then in turn it gives you a feeling of well-being and great mental health. And the overall effects of fasting has a similar impact on the brain as like physical exercise. So to kind of narrow it down a little bit more, fasting really forms one of the 5 key pillars in Islam, especially fasting during the month of Ramadan, which is actually obligatory for all able-bodied Muslims. However, if you do wish to incorporate any type of fasting at any other time of the year, it's important to remember to plan your fasting structure very carefully. Be, of course, very realistic about what you want to achieve, and always ensure that you're in the right mental and physical mindset to be able to reap the full benefits of fasting. Also ensure that you get enough sleep and ensure that your stress levels are low. So yeah, that was just a little bit more points to make a note of. But overall, if you do fasting the way it is designed, definitely Muslims say that there is a huge benefit, especially in their brain function. They're able to focus a lot clearer and become overall better people as a result. So let me end on that note. That was a look at just 10 surprising benefits of fasting in the religion of Islam. Be sure to leave your thoughts and comments down below. I want to hear you all join in on this conversation. I know sometimes fasting is seen as a thing, it's like completely useless. Other times people get very irritable when they fast. I know I fasted before and I've seen a lot of benefits, and at the same time I have done fasting incorrectly where I just was completely annoyed with life and everything. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Be sure to check out the video that's gonna be at the end screen, especially if you enjoyed this one. I don't want you to miss that one. I'll leave you to that. Happy fasting if you are fasting during the month of Ramadan. If not, well, thanks for hanging out with me in this episode regardless. Hope you learned something new. All right, guys, until next time, my name is Leroy Kenton, and I'll see you then.